I've never shared this with my channel, but last year, I beat Subnautica on Switch for the first time, and it was one of the best survival games I've ever played. Dare I say, my favorite survival game of all time. I never shared it with my channel because I couldn't record on Switch at the time, and I didn't really have a good reason to. But with Subnautica 3 announced, I decided I'd finally make a video announcing that I actually know what the game is and enjoy it. So here is that video. Also, shout out to Subnautica! So the entire video will basically be about reasons why I think Subnautica, it might be the best survival game of all time. The original, by the way, not Below Zero. Below Zero is a good game, it's just not as good as the original. I hope you guys enjoy it. So let's start off with the gameplay. After crash landing on the planet, you quickly have to realize how to use your resources around you to survive. Taking from the local crash sites, and even taking from the rocks around you, you get titanium, copper, and all other types of resources to work to your survival. And after you repair your life pod and keep working towards it, you eventually get your first radio signal from a life pod not too far away from you. The radio signal implies someone's going to be there, but by the time you get there, it's already too late, and there's a hole ripped in the side of it. You can't find much except for a single PDA left there. You can listen to what is probably one of their last logs they ever made. Eventually, you get radio signals from the Sunbeam, a different spaceship on the other side of the galaxy that's been sent to save you. You can't find much from them as you can't respond, but you do get to gather that they're not sure if they can even complete the mission alone. And eventually, after a very long time, they finally land, only for them to get shot down by the exact same thing you were shot down by. The reinforcement platform. This fake out, which makes you think that you're finally going to be saved right before it's ripped from you, was one of the most interesting parts of the early game for me, at least. I really thought it was going to be the ending and I was done with the game, and then bam. Subnautica is such a unique game because it makes you really feel for these characters that you're learning about just from snippets of information, but you can never truly meet them. Only adding to the alone feeling and sense of the game. It's so perfect because it just really feels like you're almost alone on this planet. And one of the biggest examples of that is the Agassi tribe. A group of people that you'll never really meet, but you slowly get to live in their story, ranging from 3 different bases found on the map. And you quickly learn that you're not the only one who's stranded on this planet, as a group of 3 people are also stranded. You get to learn from the tapes and PDAs you find in their bases that they were also trying to learn the environment around them and work to harvest it to its full potential. They literally died trying to figure out how the planet was working. Or at least, most of them did. But we're not going to get into that. And now, a quick message from the BurningAsh Plays channel. Are you feeling down? Do you want to subscribe to someone, but you just don't know who? Well, you're in luck, because the BurningAsh Plays channel is now taking subscribers. In fact, at the end of the month, we will be reading out our subscribers' names out loud. So make sure to subscribe during this February if you want that to happen. All you have to do to do it is turn your subscriptions on and subscribe to us. That's it. There's no other instructions. Wow, so easy. If you guys want to be read aloud on March 1st, make sure to subscribe during February. Please, guys, subscribe. I really need them. And this is not a joke. I will be reading out all of my subscribers' names on March 1st. So please subscribe, guys. All you gotta do is have your subscriptions on and subscribe. Or if you don't want to do that, just like or comment. It motivates me no matter what. Because we are in a subscriber war against Chronic by Stream, and I am not losing. So please subscribe, guys, if you enjoy my content or you just like the video. Bye! But by far, the biggest storyline point of the game is the aliens that lived on this planet before you. These aliens, you meet first with the reinforcement platform and get to learn slightly about them. You get to see the green tablets and this alien technology you'd never seen before. You get to see stuff on the walls that confuses you, and you get to see decoded things, but you can't really understand what's going on. You'll find more and more things throughout this game, and even not just the big bases. I found caves and weird things before I even found the lava base. It was very interesting when I first found the lava base, and I think that everyone is going to enjoy that part of the game when you go to the Lost River and you first see that, hey, there's more bases here than I just originally thought. You learn so much more, and of course at the end of the game when you finally cure yourself from the Kara, it almost feels rewarding, finally knowing that there's no secrets left on this planet that you don't understand. The Emperor Leviathan lives in the lava base, and it's interesting to learn about how this Kara took out this alien race, and how it's infecting the planet before you. Of course, after you get cured, you can finally leave the planet, but overall, it's still a really interesting aspect of the game to learn about these ancient aliens. I think Subnautica's ending really excels, just in the fact that, like I said, you can finally feel like you're done, like you know everything, there's nothing left to hide from you. And that's what's so rewarding about the Subnautica play style, and how everything just comes together right when you leave the planet and finally have that feeling of peace, knowing that you're done. Subnautica positively excels in gameplay. It might be the biggest strong point of the game. While the graphics might not be top tier, to say the least, the gameplay is incredible because as you progress, it really feels like you're slowly upgrading and innovating inside of the game yourself. And it just works with the storyline and everything else so perfectly. When you first get in the game, you're not sure what to do, and you just have nothing to do. But when you first jump into that water and see this new fluorescent beauty of an oceanic planet, you quickly realize that you need to scavenge for resources to build your prepare tool. And that's what I think is so perfect about the game, is how you have to scavenge perfectly. You have to scavenge the environment for things you would normally never do. You have to use stuff from the environment that almost uses a substitute from what you don't normally use. And that's how it can blend so perfectly with everything else. Because it's not supposed to be a regular survival game. You're stranded on an oceanic planet, and it feels like that in every aspect. One example of that is the bladderfish. Everything on the planet is saltwater, so you can't drink it, so you have to find substitutes for it, and the bladderfish has pouches filled with water, so you quickly realize you can use that to get your fresh water. Now, I'm not saying the game is perfect for everyone, as it does involve a lot of grinding and gathering. And it can be repetitive and even mundane at times, but what I like about the game is instead of ignoring it, it works to make it easier by giving you stuff like sea glides and submarines to get to places easier and faster. And even if the graphics aren't realistic for some people, it still doesn't mean the game isn't beautiful. There are some places in the game that will make you literally have to look around just to take it all in. Examples of that are the jelly shroom caves and the Lost River, all types of places. And instead of just giving you all the blueprints, it makes you have to go out and find wreckage and scan it, so you can figure out how to make it to begin with. Which I also think is really cool about the game, how it doesn't give you everything, or just give it to you over time, and makes you go out and try to find it for yourself. And working off of that, the entire game works to not spoon feed you everything. Every single thing in this game you have to work for. It doesn't just give you a submarine, it doesn't even give you the parts to make a submarine. You literally have to first off make the thing to make the submarine, and then you have to make the submarine. If you want to get a better submarine, you have to use that submarine to get better parts. Nothing in this game is spoon-fed to you. Absolutely nothing. You can't even go past 100 meters without losing oxygen faster. So you quickly realize that you're going to have to do everything for yourself in this game. And if you don't like that, then you're probably not going to enjoy this game. But trust me, it'll be worth it in the end as you get through everything, grabbing resources after another, and working to build off of that. So you can finally make a base and get a home on this lonely planet. This entire game, it's all about overcoming your challenges and innovating from what you have. And that's why this game is so perfect for the survival genre, because that's what the survival genre needs. Subnautica's game design is incredible. From unique ecosystems to unique creatures, the game has it all. An example of this is the jelly shroom cave mushrooms. They have an entire ecosystem planned out. What happens is that the snake crabs hide in the jelly shrooms and wait for their prey to feast on the mushrooms they hide in, only for them to eat their prey and the remainders of it fall back on the jelly shrooms, feeding the jelly shrooms, and the cycle continues. That's a literal ecosystem, and it's based inside of a game. Like, bro, these devs should be writing Earth lore at this point. And that's just one example of the many ecosystems in this game. Everything has this cycle, how everything gets fed and how the cycle continues. Not to mention, every time you scan something, it gives you a detailed description. Do you realize how long that would take for these devs to write out a detailed description for every single plant and organism in this game? You know how many plant and organisms are in Subnautica? For my calculation, there's over 40 creatures alone. That's not even including plants. And there's probably over 100 plants in Subnautica. I mean, I'm not gonna try that, but I'm gonna guess, man, because in the safe shallows alone, I can think of like 30. And that's just including organisms. You can scan tons of things in the game that aren't even organisms. That just tells you that the developers went through so much time getting that all together. And that's why I just gotta say, like, Subnautica, already, that's like a 100-page essay they had to write about every single thing in the game. That you get a whole paragraph when you scan it. And that just tells you how much detail and time went into this game. Every creature design is unique. Some of the most famous ones are the Reaper, the Peeper. I don't know why those rhyme, but those are like two of the most iconic things in Subnautica. There's tons of Leviathans as well, and Leviathans are the coolest and probably scariest creatures in Subnautica. There's so much detail and time put into this game that you can't help but just love it. Everything about this game. In the end, though, Subnautica isn't for everyone, and even if I like it so much, doesn't mean everyone else is going to. But in my personal opinion, it is the best survival game. I interviewed a good friend of mine, who's you guys might have seen him. I shouted him out on the community post. His name is Subnautica. So I'm sure you're excited to hear. So I asked him to give me a quote for the video about what he thinks about Subnautica and why it's a good game. And it's gonna be a really good quote. I interviewed him. It's really long. It's "cuz good." Yeah. He said "cuz good." That was his quote. But yeah, guys. My final thoughts is Subnautica is a great survival game. Even if it's not your favorite survival game, I guarantee you're probably gonna like it. And it has something for everyone. I don't know why you'd play it after watching this video, since I just spoiled the entire game for you. But there is a sequel, and I didn't spoil the sequel, so it's not as good as the first game, though. But yeah, guys, sequel is a good game, too. It's not as good as the first one, though, because in my opinion, the first game is always the best game. In Subnautica's case, at least. Oh, and one more thing to talk about Subnautica. It has a great soundtrack. You've actually been hearing it throughout the entire video. I played a bunch of songs from the soundtrack, some of my favorites. And yeah, it's an amazing soundtrack. Just another reason of how much detail they put into this game. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure to subscribe if you liked it, because I am in a subscriber war currently, like I said earlier, and I would really appreciate it. We're so close to 100 subscribers, and I wanted to get something out for you guys. Okay, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Make sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell.